Hello dear students, welcome to Devika's Commerce and Management Academy. Auditing, we are discussing in vast various topics. Today we will see internal auditing. Auditing means you know external audit generally, but what is this internal audit? I will give you in detail information just to focus for few minutes. What is internal audit? Internal auditing is also auditing inside of the organization. For internal auditing, the company management can appoint any separate person for internal auditing purpose, separately appointed for internal auditing. Okay, but generally if you see external auditor, he will be appointed by the government. His appointment procedure is different in different cases, that we have seen appointment of an auditor. But now here internal auditor means he is appointed by the management itself only to take care of the auditing internally. And remember, this internal auditing means not only just accounts auditing. He must be expertise in organizational activities also, management system, organizational or activities, how it is going on, any kind of disturbances, any kind of loopholes are there, everything he has to find out according to the accountancy and also management system. And it is also his duty to take care of the internal control system and also internal check. Internal check, you remember the previous class, internal check means same employees who are appointed by the management, they will be writing the account, they are also checking the accounts also. So how is this internal check system, internal control system, and everything is taken care by the internal auditors. If you see the qualification of internal auditors, they may or may not be chartered accountant. They may be a chartered accountant, they may be a cost accountant, or they may be having good knowledge, good command over the accounting system. Need not to be necessary that he must be a chartered accountant. Anything but expertise and appointed by the management, they can go for internal auditing. Internal auditor duties are more or less just like external auditor. Whatever external auditor does, the same thing. In fact, external auditor is not going to interfere in the management activities, organization system, all these things, but here he has to control everything. So responsibilities are more for the internal auditor. Now we'll discuss in depth of internal auditing, the main objects, you can say, objects of internal auditing. The main thing is that to comment on the internal control system and suggestions. How is the internal control system? He has to focus on it. Let me take marker. Where it is. Mainly he has to comment on the internal control system. How is the internal control system? Any kind of loopholes are there, any kind of defaults are there. So how it can be rectified? How can we make internal control system a better internal control system? For that he can give even the suggestions also. So this is the main object of internal auditing. So to comment on the internal control system, how it is working, and any kind of suggestions related to the internal control system, he has to. Okay. And second object is that to verify correctness, accuracy and authority of financial records. All the financial records are accurately, it is maintained properly or not, promptly it is giving the true picture or not, that he has to verify. Okay. And third thing is that to facilitate the early detection and prevention of frauds. If any frauds are there, as early as possible you detect it, find out these frauds and how we can prevent it. So that also solution also internal auditor has to take care. And fourth one is that to ensure about the internal accounting standards, sorry, not internal, international, this is international accounting standards. Whether the company is following this international accounting standards or not, that is also he has to ensure. International accounting standards or the standard accounting practices followed by the organization. Organization is following the standard accounting practices and or international accounting standards. So all these things, is the company is following or not, or blindly is it going? So that also it is the duty of the internal auditor. Okay, international accounting standards and standard accounting practices, checking it. Next one is that to take up the special investigation. Special investigation at the special request of management. If management says that you have to go for special investigation on particular aspects, say stock or assets, liabilities, any particular aspect is given to this internal auditor to go for investigation, then he has to go. When, if at all request, a special request by management is there, then he has to take up this special investigation also. Okay. Next one, to ensure that the assets are adequately safeguarded or not. Assets are main important things in organization. So these assets are properly, adequately safeguarded or not. That is also internal auditor has to take care. Means before inviting the external auditor, internal auditor is going to take care everything by himself only. Then after that we are calling external auditor. No problem at all when we call the external auditor, because already he has done so many aspects and he has verified a lot of things, and he got a lot of command or internal control system, and also system of the organization, accounts, so and assets verification, and any frauds are there, that is also finding out, and accuracy of the accounting, all these things he is taking care. When external auditor comes, no problem at all, right? Now next object is that to ensure that the acquisition and disposal of assets under proper authority. Acquisition means purchasing the assets, and disposal of the assets. Who is doing this? Is it under the proper authority or somebody is using it? There most of the times you will find lots of frauds and manipulations and misguiding or deceiving, all these things which happens when assets are purchasing or selling. That is why he has to be very careful about the proper authority. Who is purchasing, who is selling it, is he having the proper authority or not? That is also his duty. Okay. And in the same last point, to ensure as to whether or not each unit of organization follows the policies and procedures laid down by the top management. Top management have decided some rules and regulations, policies. So this is followed by each and every unit of the organization or not. So that is also the duty of the internal auditor. As I told you, not only checking up the accounts records, internal control system, how the management is working, how the functioning of the organization is there, that is also duty of the internal auditor. That is why the last point. Are you getting it? So these are the main objects of internal auditing. Are you understanding internal auditing? Now if you see what are the elements, essential elements of internal auditing. Internal auditing means generally you know that a special person is appointed by the management for internal auditing purpose. Okay, he is specially appointed. He need not to be a CA and may or may not be a CA, and he has to check the internal check system. He has to take care of the internal control system, and he has to have the control over the entire organization. All these things we have discussed. Now what are the essential elements? First thing is that he must be independent. Independence is required. Auditor means auditor, whether internal auditor or external auditor. He has to check up all the transactions. He has to be transparent. He has to be independent. When he gets that liberty to act as independent, then only he can express it properly. Then only he can work out without any fear, without any pressure, and without any influence. So that is why he must be independent. Independence is required for every auditor. But remember one thing, this internal auditor is appointed by the management. We expect him to work independently. Is it possible? Most of the time may not be, but expecting that he must be independent, he should not be influenced. So this is the main character of internal auditor. Then only we'll come to know the true picture of the organization. Second one is that due care. He has to take care everything just like an external auditor. External auditor has to be very careful, we have already discussed. If there is any negligency, he has to face the consequences, civil liabilities, criminal liabilities. In the same, may not be he'll be having civil liabilities, criminal liabilities, but whatever care, whatever alertness external auditor is going to pay, the same alertness, the same care, which has to be taken care by the internal auditor also. Otherwise, we won't be knowing the accuracy of the checking of each and every transaction. That is why due care is which is required. And another thing is that relationships. Internal auditor means not only checking up the accounts, as we have discussed, he must have the command over the entire organization, functioning of the organization. So that is why relationships, he should have a very good relationships. And he should have command over the entire organization. How is this organization? How many employees are there? Whose responsibilities are given? What is their duties? And related to every employee, every officer, and where they are working, and what is their duties, what is their responsibility, are they functioning or not, like everything he must have a very good understanding and also relationships with those people. Next thing is that system control. Entire organization system also he should have control, not just accounting, functioning, as we have discussed so many points. So that controlling over the entire organization, including the internal control system, internal check system also. Okay. And next thing is that specific audit program. We have already discussed about the audit program. Before getting into the auditing, every auditor prepares audit program. Here also, internal auditor also has to prepare a specific audit program. How to start the auditing, when to start, where to start, and how to work, when to finish. Some systematic method he has to prepare it. So that is specific audit program which is required even for the internal auditor also. Next thing is that evidence. Internal auditing is simply not checking up the transactions. Here what is going to be the important thing is that evidence. Without evidence, no checking. We can't say that auditing is over. So here also evidence, vouchers, related vouchers, files, minutes of the meeting, company documents, everything is which are going to work like evidence, and that he has to check everything. Lastly, reporting. After completion of internal control, he has to prepare a report also, audit report, internal audit report, just like external auditor. What he found during this auditing job, what are the facts, what are the main points, what are the highlights he wanted to bring into the knowledge of the top management, everything he has to prepare just like an external auditor audit report. With that his work will be completed. These are the main important aspects, important elements we have to be careful while going for the internal auditing. Now let me give you a just simple idea about what are the advantages of internal auditing. If you appoint internal auditing, internal auditor is more or less just like external auditor only. So management and entire organization will be under control, not only account system, organization system, and how the organization is working, functioning, and employees, everything will be under control. And there will be a less possibilities of manipulations or frauds. And for big organizations, appointing an internal auditor is not an expensive, if you see the advantages point of view. So advantages point of view, it is good, and it is going to make the entire system systematic. All the employees will be under control, they will be working effectively. So this is another advantage. And mainly if you come to the disadvantages point of view, small organizations, it is not going to work out, because they can't pay so much of money, salary to the internal auditors. just like big organizations. So small organization, it is not going to work out. And sometimes if the internal auditor is not efficient, not sincere, then there is no use of going for the internal auditing. This is another advantage. Like in general also you can take out some advantage and disadvantage, that's not a problem at all. The thing is that you must understand what is this internal auditing. Am I clear? Take the screenshot or note down. In the coming classes, we'll discuss more. By the way, did you check our playlist? There are many subjects, commerce, management related. And for BTech students also, there is a subject MEFA or BEFA. So that is also in our channel. Please do recommend this channel to many students. Everything is free of cost. Use it and enhance your skills and come up in your life. And I expect you to be a bright career. So take care, don't forget to share these videos, study well and stay connected. Good luck.